Let me ask a question, and Scott, again, I don't mean to catch you off guard, or you're probably never going back to one of these things, but a question that I was asked a few weeks ago had to do with medical marijuana. My understanding is that the state passed legislation in 2000 allowing it, but there are actually no dispensaries in the state. The question that I received was that there was concern about dispensaries proliferating and actually locating in this area. If Governor Sandoval signed the medical marijuana bill that went through the state assembly. My understanding is he signed it, but what I can tell you right now is what the impact is going to be, whether people will be setting up dispensaries here or not. Do you know anything about that, Scott?
Not at this time. I don't know anything about it.
I read that they have set numbers for different counties. So like in Clark County, there can only be 40 in the whole county. So I would assume that then the county is going to have regulation over how that goes out and about in the county. Is what my assumption is. It hasn't really been said, but that's kind of what I read from it.
There hasn't been much discussion, certainly not among staff. And the call that I got regarding it is the only one that I've received so far. I can tell you that I worked in Colorado before I came here, and when I started working in Colorado, they had just legalized marijuana and dispensaries went up all over the state. Now they've taken the one step beyond that, obviously, both Colorado and Washington. Now it will be, or after cities have made regulations, counties made regulations legal to possess some. But in terms of access to medical marijuana in Colorado, when I was there, I could go 12 miles in either direction and find 5 dispensaries. But the impact on the state, I'm not sure at this point. I was hoping maybe somebody did. I guess we'll find out. I wouldn't expect anything to be happening very quickly. In Colorado, when the law was passed, it really took the better part of a year for local regulations to be adopted. So I would imagine that if this would be the case here, if they're going to be operating dispensaries, then it'll take some time before we really know what's going on, where they'll be, how they'll be regulated, who will be doing most of the regulation. So, but yeah, Richard.
Andy, we were invited to a meeting, I think in the next 2 to 3 weeks down in Clark County. Representatives from the local entities within the county are invited to participate, but it'll be discussing this topic, how we're going to regulate them, how we're going to treat them, how many, where it's going to be, and so forth. I assume part of that discussion will be how they're treated under the zoning ordinance. Do they get classified as kind of like a tobacco shop? Are they classified as a medical office or facility? Both have different ramifications for where they're allowed. Those kinds of issues. So we'll know more in a few weeks.
I also received a question, and a follow-up question on that is, what is going to be the impact in Mesquite? Is going to be permissible here? Would it be possible for a shop to open up in the city? And at this point, I have no idea. The city that I work for in western Colorado banned it outright. They were able to do that. They can't do it since the new law has been passed, but they absolutely decided to exclude any dispensaries. But what the impact is going to be here, that I'm not sure. Whatever is going to happen, it's not going to happen quickly there.